Stand by the truth you know, and let nothing shake you. This is the 7-minute daily focus, day 26 of 365. Stand by the truth you know, and let nothing shake you. Today's focus: the non-negotiable actuality of the self. Reality does not ask permission. Actuality is not optional. Actuality is not conditional. Actuality is not influenced by circumstance, emotion, or the physical senses. Actuality simply is. Actuality does not bend. Actuality does not shift. Actuality does not negotiate. Because actuality belongs to reality, the subjective state, not to appearance. Hill wrote, "A man who knows what he is cannot be moved. I concur with refinement." Actuality is unmoved because completion cannot be threatened. Pause for a moment. Close your physical eyes. Shift into the first sense. Sense the truth beneath all appearances. The self in actuality is already established. The identity in actuality is already complete. The reality of who you are is already finished. The physical senses cannot alter what is metaphysically true. The objective state cannot rewrite the subjective state. Appearance cannot negotiate with actuality. Actuality instructs, appearance follows. This is the primacy of the metaphysical. This is the principle of the completed self. Understand this reality literacy. Actuality equals the completed self in reality. Appearance equals the translated self in physical form. Actuality is the cause. Appearance is the effect. Actuality is the source. Appearance is the expression. Actuality is the principle. Appearance is the outcome. Wattles wrote, "Do not be moved by what you see. Be moved by what is real." I concur with elevation. Actuality is real. Appearance is the report. Walk deeper into this reality literacy. You do not check the physical world to confirm actuality. The physical world checks you. You do not wait for signs. The signs follow the subjective state you hold. You do not negotiate with circumstances. Circumstances obey the identity you stand as. For actuality is non-negotiable. When you acknowledge actuality, your subjective state stabilizes. When your subjective state stabilizes, presence strengthens. When presence strengthens, translation becomes smooth. And when translation becomes smooth, appearance aligns. Hill insisted, "There is no failure for the one who refuses to accept it." I concur with refinement. There is no contradiction for the one who refuses to leave actuality. Appearance becomes unstable only when you drift from actuality. Appearance becomes confused only when identity fractures, and appearance becomes delayed only when presence weakens. But actuality never moves, actuality never weakens, actuality never shifts. Thus, staying in actuality keeps every translation pure. Consider this: the self in actuality is your true position. The self in actuality is your foundation. The self in actuality is your completion. You do not elevate the self, you recognize the self. You do not develop the self, you accept the self. And you do not seek the self, you acknowledge the self. Because actuality is non-negotiable, and everything in the objective state must eventually conform. So today, stand in actuality, remain in actuality, move from actuality, be the one who does not negotiate with appearance, be the one who does not drift from identity, be the one who does not leave reality. For actuality is the unshakable truth behind every physical form. Let me deepen this reality literacy of non-negotiable actuality, widening your authority in your metaphysical standpoint, strengthening your metaphysically driven mind's awareness of why the self cannot be overruled by the objective state. Actuality does not increase when you believe. It is simply recognized. Actuality does not become stronger when you focus. You become aligned with what was already complete. Actuality does not respond to effort, it responds to acknowledgement. Wattles hinted at this when he wrote, "The moment you begin to see things as they really are, you rise above limitation." He was pointing toward the moment of recognition, the instant the first sense overrides the five senses. Hill echoed the same principle. Whatever the mind can hold as true, it will bring into form. I concur with refinement. Actuality held becomes identity expressed. Sense this added clarity. Actuality does not ask the world to comply. The world rearranges because actuality already governs it. Every translated form, every circumstance, and every situation is shaped by the actuality you silently stand in. When you drift from actuality, contradiction appears. When you return to actuality, contradiction dissolves. And when you remain in actuality, contradiction never takes physical forms, because actuality is the highest authority of the subjective state. Present stabilizes it, identity embodies it, appearance eventually reflects it. Walk today with this strengthened insight. Actuality is not waiting, it is established. Actuality is not hoping, it is certain. Actuality is not forming, it is complete. And the more you acknowledge its immovable truth, the more effortlessly the objective state translates that truth into visible form. Stand in what is finished, walk from what is whole, move from what is unmoved. For actuality is the power that the physical world must obey. Affirmation for day 26. Actuality is my reality. Identity is complete. Reality is unmoved. Appearance follows my non-negotiable self.